The information found in this video and related presentation is provided by the Retirement Research Foundation and is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing in this video should be considered to be tax or investment advice. Welcome. Thanks for joining me here at the Retirement Research Foundation. I'm Daniel Rondberg, and with me is Ben Skinner from Taylor Skinner Law. Ben, so glad to have you here today. What we want to do in this video is break down a lot of different misnomers, different questions, things that people hear. You know, every time you flip open the paper, you always read some story about some fiduciary that robbed, a 92-year-old lady's estate. You know, the money was supposed to go to, the charity or to the college, and then all of a sudden, what do people need to know about fiduciaries? Obviously, they present some really good things they can do for clients, and then there's some liability, some risks and costs associated. Right. Like, how do people make good decisions on whether or not to use a fiduciary? Yeah,
so in Arizona, we have a license. We have a bureaucracy in place that licenses and regulates fiduciaries, and these are people that can be paid to administer somebody's estate. Banks, most big banks have a trust division, and they are essentially fiduciaries. And look after people's estates too. Mm-hmm. The risk, the one downside to fiduciaries is the cost. I mean, you got to pay them. Anytime you can use a trusted friend or family member, you're going to save money. Yeah. One benefit though of having a licensed fiduciary is they now are heavily regulated. They're required to carry insurance. So if they do steal from somebody, there's insurance there to a bond to potentially replace what's lost. Oh, okay. So the best thing you can do is just ask. Most attorneys in town know who are the good and reputable people to use. And I really think the days of fiduciaries running off with people's money in Arizona are becoming more, it's become much more unlikely and much more difficult because there's a lot more regulation because of these horror stories that have happened. I mean,
I've read enough of them in my time where you're going, goodness, what are they thinking? It's just crazy. So that's good. So when you're asking fiduciaries a question, when you're interviewing fiduciaries, do you guys make a recommendation of 3 different fiduciaries that they go to and they interview?
We typically do. We have 2 to 3 that we think are really highly reputable that we routinely refer people to.
Okay, so then people go interview them and then ask them, what their costs are, what their practices are. I mean, because you're going to be relying on this person to run down to the hospital. If you can't do it.
And where this would arise is in a situation where somebody doesn't have any family to be their successor trustee on their trust or their agent under a power of attorney. So that's really where this comes up.
Yeah. So when you're interviewing these people, like you said, there's good fiduciaries, bad fiduciaries. Like, what do you think what kind of, other than their reputation in town, what would you think makes them a good fiduciary? Is it their service department? Do they have a lot of administrative staff or an infrastructure to manage people's estates? Like, what do you guys use as metrics to make a good decision on fiduciaries?
Those are all important metrics, but I've come more and more to value in any profession or trade or whatever I do, the people that care enough about the details are the people I want to associate with. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why we associate with you. We love you guys because there aren't that many people. That's fairly rare, and that's something that really can't be taught. It's just something you kind of have. Do I care about the details enough to make sure the right thing happens? And that's really, to me, the number one requirement. Yeah. And it's really essentially a caregiving kind of business. So you really want people with some empathy, honesty, integrity, and then that really just care. I mean, that's the most important thing for me. Right. Yes, that could be a good decision-making process. Is it a person that you connect with that you feel is going to have your best interest at heart, or is it somebody you've never met in a bank department that, not to bash on the banks, but I mean, there's kind of this impersonal, the personal bankers aren't the one administering the estates. It's some legal person behind the scenes. It's a trust department,
Yeah, okay.